Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the championship-winning Volume Podcast Sports Network. It's Friday, June 17th, and we are the champions.
We are fucking tired. That's what we are.
We're recording this at 2 o'clock in the morning, Tyler's time, but the NBA championship has come home to the Volume Podcast Sports Network.
Gotta give a shout out to a valued franchise Volume Network employee, Draymond Green, champion. 12-12-8 on you motherfuckers tonight. Talking all that shit about distractions and podcasts, all that, because y'all be on the goddamn phone, old head talking. That man went out there and gave y'all 12-12-8, ring number 4 in 8 years. Count it up.
He went straight from the Nintendo to hitting 2 3-pointers in a closeout game on the road.
Bro, when he hit the first three, I'm like, it's over with. I think they was only up like 1 or 2 at that point, too. He hit that motherfucking backpack three. I'm like, all right, G. Yep. Cancel it.
This legit got to be the only multiple 3-point game of the postseason for Draymond. Like, I don't think
he didn't hit.
It was his first 3 of the series.
In the series. It was his first of the series. Yeah, the first one, I think, the end of the first quarter. And then he hit that one at the half.
That backpack was backpacking tonight.
He did it. Fucking did it. The champion.
Did you see Colin talking his shit on his fucking Instagram?
No, what'd he say?
Cowherd is walking around in his mansion that I think he probably had his wife filming him for the Instagram content of him making himself a little drink and then going into his bar, putting some vodka in it, and then and then turning out the light and going, lights out.
I mean, she was probably like, how you think this match is paid for? Because of this content.
I mean, I respect him, man. He went out, he got Draymond. Draymond brought home a chip where the volume is 1 for 1 with NBA players winning championships while under contract.
Sheesh.
All right. One further note. This is Jenkins and Jonez. Did I didn't introduce the pod.
Oh my God.
That's John, aka LeJethro Jenkins, and then that's Tyler, aka Dragonfly Jones.
Young Trajectory.
What's that? Young Trajectory? Young Trajectory face. I'm Gardy B, aka Mike, and I am the captain now. All of our producers are gone, so I'm the one who had to make sure everyone's laptops were tilted down. Jackson Saffon picked the locker room of an NBA championship celebration over producing Jenkins and Jonez tonight. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I see where we are on the totem pole.
Where we're supposed to be. Good job, Jack. She made the right decision.
He's gonna go places. Yeah, he's gonna go places. He's gonna go places.
You'll be all right.
We already talked to Jackson on our next episode, which I genuinely have no idea when our next episode is gonna be, but it'll be probably next week sometime. We're gonna have Jackson on for an interview. He is a huge Celtics fan who also produces Draymond's show. So it was a weird day. Probably a weirder day than anyone else working in America today for fucking Jackson. He's sitting with great seats, by the way, in the Draymond family section. He's sitting to watch the closeout game. Miserable that his team is losing, but I'm sure professionally very excited because that's going to be a podcast everyone wants to listen to.
It's all about content, baby.
At 25, if your team's going to lose, that's the way for them to lose. For you to be drenched in NBA players' champagne, the Warriors, you know what I'm saying, the most prominent team of shit. I don't know, like, you know, this, I wouldn't say generation, but maybe the generation under us, you know what I'm saying? And you have them pouring champagne on you, Steph Curry, fucking Draymond Green, dog. I mean, that loss didn't feel like a loss, probably.
Well, we'll find out. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we will.
Next episode.
We will.
Do we want to say nice things about the Warriors first or mean things about the Celtics? I will leave it up to you guys.
Can we say mean and nice things about both teams? Like, can we just be equal? Please.
So what's going to happen is Tyler and I are going to say mean things about Boston, and you're going to say nice things about Jayson Tatum.
Okay, cool. That's what we'll do. That's how.
What do you think, Tyler? Should do hate first or love first?
We can lead with hate.
Jesus.
All right. Let me open with this. More like The Fraudston Celtics.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't.
They beat y'all boys up. Y'all was betting against them the whole fucking playoffs. You know what I mean? Come on.
I believe Tyler and I were both Warriors in 6. We were both on that train. Yes, Tyler? Warriors in 6?
I absolutely was. I told you I started down it because I was like, ain't no way in hell the Warriors going to run off 3 straight. But boy, did they. God damn. What the fuck happened, bro?
So my congratulations to the Boston Celtics, who have won 1 NBA championship since 1986. 1 NBA championship. I'm old as fuck, and I've seen 1 Boston Celtics NBA championship. 1. And yet, people talk about this team like they are an elite NBA franchise. They've won 1 NBA championship since 1986. Fuck you, Boston. Thank you for being the best example for disappointments everywhere. You really inspire all of us. Crisp salute. Rest in piss.
Jesus Christ.
I have never been this annoyed by a team in the finals in my life. Like there's been times where I've been like, hey, this team is just going up against the better team. You know, hats off to them. They tried. It's just not their year. This team annoyed the fuck out of me these finals because it's like I said, bro, I have hated the Warriors for years, but I have hated them because they're so damn good, right? There's respect there. There's admiration there. I appreciate how good they are, even though I hate that they keep winning. With this Boston team, that's not there, bro. I hate them because they were so dumb that they just fell apart. The execution was horrible. Like they were annoying. Like when they got it down to 10 at the end of the third and pulled off that little fake ass comeback, I was like, bro, let's just not do this anymore. Like I was annoyed that they were trying to make it a series again because we knew how it was gonna end. We knew I was gonna end. I was like, bro, well, let's not even do this. Just go home. We're sick of. We've seen this act for the last fucking 3 games. Enough. I'm tired.
The difference between the two teams, the main difference is like the Warriors found ways to make the game easier, and Boston consistently found ways to make the game harder. Boston had like 40 turnovers in the last 2 games. Who the fuck on this planet would you beat with 40 fucking turnovers in 2 games? You know what I mean? Tatum, love you. Rough series. Even worse, game 6. You know what I mean? He just wasn't ready yet. You know, I think it would be great. Just wasn't ready. You know what I mean? And I think that's the team as a whole. Really young. Just weren't ready for this moment yet. Y'all are saying that, you know, this was their moment to win if they're going to win. None of us knows anything. Most of us have been very wrong about everything in the fucking playoffs, especially these 2 teams. The Celtics, we thought they would be trash this year. Lost their coach. No way they get to this point. The Warriors, a middling fucking team.
I did have the Warriors getting out of the West.
When was this, though? When was this?
I believe before the playoffs started, I had the Warriors coming out of the West.
Playoffs. We're talking about like at the beginning of the season. You know, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, I feel good about that because I don't think anyone else had them coming out of the West.
Yeah. But the point is, my point is that we don't really know what's going to happen next year. You know what I mean? But I think this was a big step for them. I mean, for Tatum, and I think Tatum can, you know, I think next time he gets there, he'll be ready. If he gets there again, there's no promise when it comes to that.
What do you think about that, Tyler? I mean, we were talking in the group chat about like this might be a 1-year window, just in that. I mean, that happens sometimes, right? I mean, it happened with the Heat. It just is sometimes that happens. Like you have that kind of year that things just fell your way. I don't know that I like them coming out of the East next year. I think that there's a pretty clear roadmap on what they can't do offensively. So we'll see, obviously, where all of the, you know, puzzle pieces land after this offseason. But I don't think I like them beating the Bucks again if the Bucks are healthy. I don't know. What do you think, Tyler? What do you think of their window?
Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, write the obituary and say that they're done. It's over. You know, Tatum's only 24, but you know, like we were talking in the text, I don't know if the path will ever be this easier for them. You know, they went up against a Bucks team that didn't have Middleton. They went up against the Nets team that was just a fucking dumpster fire. They went up against the Warriors that had, you know, Klay and Dre were slacking that series. I don't know if it'll be this easier for them ever again.
Yeah, and it is one of those, like, the example I always think about is the NFL. Like, I think Dan Marino got to the Super Bowl like his 3rd or 4th year. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of exactly what John talked about. It was like young dude, really talented, just wasn't quite ready. But he was already rewriting the record books, and they're like, he's going to be back there a bunch more, though. And he never did it again. It's just like you just really don't know in
But
sports.
there's also Elway, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Or Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning.
You know what I mean? So we don't know. We don't know. You want to see people take advantage of their opportunities, but they just weren't ready, and it was just obvious. We saw the fourth quarters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said last podcast, we're talking about Draymond. Tatum. Tatum is the best player in that team, and he did not look like it for a lot of those games. You know what I mean? And you can't win a championship playing like that. With your best player
I continue to think he's wearing too much of the blame. I think this is a team that arrived a little bit early. The 20 turnovers. Okay, I understand he had 100. He set an NBA record for turnovers in the postseason. 100%.
That's what a 24-year-old might do. You know
That's
what I mean?
That's what a 24-year-old might do. Bron has had some very high turnover postseasons as well. He's a non-point guard who's in a high ball handling, usage situation. But watching those games, this Jaylen Brown, is Marcus Smart. I mean, it's a lot of really stupid turnovers from a team that just, we said at the beginning of the playoffs, I think the most underrated thing about an NBA team in the playoffs is, does everyone know what they're doing? Does everyone know what their job is? And there's just people missing. Marcus Smart, for as gifted as he is defensively, he is not a get everyone organized, run a good half-court set point guard. And you can't turn the ball over 20 times against the Warriors.
Just can't do it. I think
they
the Warriors
averaged that.
Game five, the Warriors had 6 turnovers, and like the Celtics had 18.
Yeah.
You tripled the amount of TOs, and then you shot like 60-something% from the 64% from the free throw line. You can't win like that. You can't win like that. With that abysmal ass fourth quarter where nobody could hit shit, like, no, it's just not. You didn't deserve to win. I'm thankful that, like I said this on Twitter. I'm thankful that it wasn't like a 2-point loss, and Tatum had a chance to win it at the end. Like, there's no what ifs here. The better team fucking won. You know what I'm saying? And we knew this game was over at like midway through the second quarter. We were like, yeah, it's a wrap for these boys. And so I was just making a little state, talking to my wife. You know what I mean? It was a great night for me. You know what I mean? I look at the game every so often, check my phone, look at the game, check my phone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a Celtics fan, but I mean, as a Tatum fan, it didn't hurt as bad seeing him take the L.
Well, and I think you have to give Ime a lot of credit for how much further this team got than anyone would have thought they were going to, for the turnaround they had in the middle of the season, all that stuff. But if you're putting this on Tatum, it's just, I don't know. It's on roster construction, which I don't think that Celtics fans would disagree. They didn't build that roster to peak for this year for a championship run.
They surprised everybody. They surprised everybody.
100%, including, I'm sure, themselves. But the construction just was not there offensively when you're playing a well-coached defensive team that, the Warriors, as we said going into this series, I think their defense was the underrated part of this series. But the Celtics in their losses, 88 points, 97 points, 94 points, 90 points.
That's some fucking 1998 basketball there. Yeah, that's crazy.
You're going up against a team that has rewritten the record book for most three-pointers.
We talked about discipline with them the entire fucking playoffs. And, we said it was an issue. They never figured it out. They did enough to get to the finals, but you're not going to win in the finals playing undisciplined basketball.
Get your shit together, Boston.
Yeah, figure it out, Boston.
Guys, more discipline. I hate that I'm the guy saying this
fucking time. You wasted everyone's fucking time.
What's crazy was it game 3 when they went up 2-1 and they figured out how to use their strength and size, and they never did it again. Never did it again. You know what I'm saying? Never used their strength and size to their advantage again. They tried to play the same way they had played in game 2, trying to match the Warriors. And bro, you can't play that way. You can't play their style of basketball better than them. It's just not going to happen.
Steph Curry gets his finals MVP. Very happy for Steph. What did you think of his performance throughout the finals? And we've talked about this a couple of times, but does this change where you see how he fits into things, or any of your view of him as a basketball player?
Steph got that finals MVP, man. Charlie Brown finally kicked that football. I'm happy for him. But
Andrew Wiggins, you were a couple points short.
Yeah, almost got his
only
ass, but
40 points short, Andrew.
of the funniest storyline in NBA history.
Yeah, but I mean, Steph was pretty much stamped and certified, of course, before this postseason. right? But I think this elevates him. Like we're in a second act of a dynasty. We don't see that often in NBA history. And Steph just balled the fuck out. These finals only have that one stinker.
Two stinkers.
Yeah, that's right. Game 2, he stunk it up too, right?
Yeah, and he still won. Yeah.
Yeah, but
and he had bad fourth quarters too. It wasn't that great of a performance, honestly. It was a good enough performance for him to win. It wasn't a great performance.
He had one all-time performance.
Yep.
I mean, that was
if Bron had this performance, what would we be saying about Bron? That's I mean, in this generation, you know what I'm saying? In this era of basketball, if Bron had this performance, what would we be saying about this is just a regular Bron, it's not that great of a performance. You know what I'm saying? Like he had 2 stinkers, fourth quarters wasn't good until the last couple games. I don't think it elevated him. But I think he was already stamped. I don't think he's
I think it elevates him. I had him like top 15ish. I think he's for sure top 10 now.
Who's out of there now? Kobe, KD. I wouldn't say it. Those are the final 2 or 3 spots.
I'll go as far as this. I think the only guards ever better than Steph are MJ and Magic.
No, I just can't. I can't ride with that, bro. I can't go there.
Who else? Who you got better?
I think Kobe's better, for sure. I think KD's better. And KD was on the same. KD was on the team with that nigga and got the 2 Finals MVPs and was a more important player. You know what I'm saying? I would say more important player, but he was the biggest.
He's not counting KD.
I mean, he's a 4. He's a 4. Yeah.
But I think the thing you have to say about Steph too that it's obvious about Iverson. It's obviously about Jordan. It's just so obvious about Steph how much he changed the game. I mean, the 3 he had where he walked across half court and just calmly drained it from the NBA Finals logo. That's basketball. That's completely changed the sport of basketball. And I mean, like, if I go watch YMCA 8-year-olds play on Saturday morning this weekend, he has changed the sport of basketball to that level. And I understand some of it is just sort of the analytics movement, 3 greater than 2, et cetera, that he's just kind of the poster child for that movement. The game was kind of changing in that direction anyway. But when can you say that about someone that, that they just completely changed the way a sport was played? And I think that was part of what I was thinking about tonight watching. He was so clearly emotional about getting that Finals MVP and about getting that team back there, that's hard. You feel like you've got your other Hall of Famer and Klay, and then he doesn't play basketball for 1,000 fucking days or whatever it was.
Right.
You can see how much that meant to him. And I was reflecting on that. Like, Vinny's old enough now that he was rooting for the Warriors against the Celtics. And it's just cool getting to see that. Like, this is an era that we lived through and watched. I'm personally very happy to throw Tim Duncan out of the top 10 if that gets Steph in there.
Lakers bias seeping in.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But
four titles.
You going that far, Tyler? You going that far?
He ain't better than Timmy. He ain't better than Timmy. No.
Better than Timmy D. Better than TD. Not happening. You feel me?
But I don't know. I think he does deserve to be elevated. And I do think, given what we were talking about with the Warriors defense being so much better than the Celtics offense, when you talk about the sort of second tier part of each team's game, they put a stat up tonight. It might be total bullshit, but it makes sense to me. Having watched the game, that when he was primary defender, the Celtics were 3 of 12 with 6 turnovers.
I mean, we also saw him get that choo-choo right on him,
He
too.
He did 100%, and I think but there's a lot to that, the way the Warriors play defense. They don't have a lot of dudes where you're like, he's a great lockdown deep, but they just...
Team defense was special.
What does it take to win tonight? Yeah.
Special, and when they were hunting Steph, and getting to the cup. They weren't doing that this game. They were pulling up on him and shooting Jayson.
Yeah.
There was a play that Steph had when he pump faked 2 defenders in the air. I think it was Halford and Grant Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he hit the 3 and it hit rim. And I thought to myself, man, he fucked this highlight up. Because it hit rim. And then I thought to myself, this is the standard this man has set for himself. This absurd, lofty ass standard where I think he ruined a play by hitting rim from 3. That's
he probably thought the same thing.
Yeah.
With 5 minutes left in the third, he pointed at his finger like, "Ring me, bitch ass niggas." And that's the thing with me. Like, I don't think he went any higher on. I thought he was already where he was supposed to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, I already respected him greatly prior to this. He was definitely top 15, And I think that's an incredible thing to be. And as much as he's changed the game, I don't think that makes him better than the other players that we're putting ahead of him. He just did something that's amazing. I think that adds to the lore, his legacy. But I mean, still, those players were better than him to me. You know what I mean? But I don't think when I looked at Steph Curry prior to this, I was like, Steph is still a fucking god tier fucking basketball player. And if he'd have stunk it up and they would have lost, I would have still said that same shit. Because he's still fucking Steph Curry. So I don't think he had a performance that, we deserves us to prop him up even higher. But I think he's had a great performance because he's a great fucking basketball player. And I just expected that out of him. You know what I mean? Nothing he did surprised me. Maybe the pointing at the ring with 5 minutes left in the third was like, whoa, Steph's been disrespectful, but goddamn. He said, get these young boys the fuck out my face, please. We got a chip to win, bitch ass niggas.
That man,
buddy.
that man hit for the disrespectful cycle in a closeout for a championship game. He did the ring me shit. He did the turn the back on the shot before it drops. He did the go to sleep shit. He hit for the disrespectful Steph cycle, bro.
And I love to see it. And he's a great player and he deserves all the love he gets. But bro, like top 10, I think we're starting to reach at that point. But I mean, if you say he's top 10, I'll agree with. I'm not gonna. It's kind of like Jordan and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? I mean Jordan and LeBron. If somebody says Jordan's number one, cool. Somebody says LeBron number one, cool. I'm not arguing with you. Both great fucking players. So if you think he deserves to be top 10, it's all about preference. Some people have Kobe top 5, top 6, top 7. You know what I mean? So I'm not tripping, but I don't see it there. But I don't think he needs to be there for me to think he's just as good of a player as y'all think he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when it's like there's the margin of error is so thin, or you know what I'm saying, so small. And when you're talking about KD, Kobe, Tim Duncan, you know what I mean, like all of them are just special. He's right up there with them. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's talk about the post game. Draymond with the first ballot Hall of Fame answer to one of the worst, blandest, and I love Lisa, but one of the worst, blandest questions that they ask athletes or coaches at the end of a season. What did you learn about yourself this finals?
That man said, I didn't learn anything.
He said, I'm him and I always knew I'm him. What the fuck you mean?
He said, I didn't
I'm
learn anything. Nothing. Not one thing.
That was the fucking best. God damn.
Tyler love with a nigga talking that shit.
Yes, I do.
I know Tyler's over there fucking beaming like, hell yeah.
But I respect that. It's fair. He's like, I played like shit for a couple games. And then I played better. Like, I didn't learn anything about myself. I did my best. Like, and we won. And that's the fourth time. It didn't surprise me. I genuinely thought it was a great answer because I think it's a terrible question.
Yeah, I think he said he always knew he was resilient. It was him saying, yeah, I know I'll be trash sometimes, but I'll be nice sometimes too. It is what it is, 12 and 8, motherfuckers.
He just said it be like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, fuck you mean?
We also had Klay in the post-game presser bring up the Triple J strength in numbers tweet after the Grizzlies beat the Warriors in the regular season. I love that. He went off too. Did you see that clip, Tyler?
He said, freaking bum.
Wow. What's with the freaking and like
freaking
holy
bum.
What he said? The other thing he
holy
said?
Cannoli.
Holy cannoli, man. Like that's the
Klay, can I offer a theory?
Yeah.
Very Wednesday night Bible study. That's what I'll say. But what you
Klay is entangled with a Bible study ass person. That's what I have to believe is going on.
Okay.
Because he's been real holy cannoli-y.
Yeah. Real classy, Boston.
What about the kids?
When you bring up class, I just can't. All right, man.
That did crack me up. I mean, it is just like,
what's the difference between saying freaking bum and fucking bum? It's all like, that's like, you call somebody a bum. Calling him a bum is worse than saying freaking or fucking. Freaking or fucking doesn't matter. You call the nigga a bum.
Yeah.
Like,
we're anti-euphemism in my household. I don't, as you guys know, my policy with my kids is they can cuss as long as they're doing it in an appropriate context and not being disrespectful of other people or whatever, right? You're not going into
cussing
school and cussing. You're not cussing at your teacher or something like that. You could cuss watching a basketball game with me. But I will actively stop them from substituting other words. You know what I mean? If I hear a frick,
No.
This ain't a frick household.
This is,
We
this
do
is
not say
not a
frick.
freaking
I'm
house.
Gangland Gardy.
if you
Do you know who the fuck your dad is? We don't say frick around
We
this
curse
motherfucker.
around this motherfucker.
You know what I mean?
we don't say heck, we don't say shoot. Like if you don't want to cuss, then don't cuss. That's fine. But we're not saying frickin'.
Frickin' is the real curse word.
Yes.
That shit is fucking gross.
That's offensive. That is
Frickin'
offensive.
is fucking gross. Okay.
If you say freaking, I think, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Like, you say fucking, that's totally fine.
If you say frickin', I'll be like, hoe ass nigga, who want this?
Like, what are you trying to prove to us here?
What are you on, bro? Like,
What are you hiding from us? Is like what I think.
like, shit. Sound like the feds, bro. That's some officer shit.
Frickin'.
You know what I mean? Fuck out of here.
Clay, we need you back, bro.
Yeah, we need that. Yeah, Clay.
Yeah,
Look.
Clay, what happened, man? I feel like you've lost your way.
I'll take Holy Cannoli. Holy Cannoli's
Holy Cannoli.
okay.
It's
that's
Holy
fine.
Cannoli's okay. That's
but
a
Holy
him.
Cannoli with saying classless,
Yeah.
with saying frickin', you know, that
The
no.
The fact pattern isn't adding up in a way that we enjoy.
You're starting to get, really, Flanders. You know what I mean? You give me those vibes. You know what I mean?
Dokely.
Oakley, Holy Cannoli. I guarantee that's somewhere in Simpsons. Go through your Simpsons Rolodex, Mike. Find the
Holy
episode.
cannoli.
What season is that?
I think Holy Cannoli might be too Flandersy for Flanders. I don't know.
You might be right.
I did love him though. Just saying, like he talked about he was really angry. He said, "I was really angry when I saw the tweet, and that it was like hard for him to see it, to just like listen to people say shit like that." And I love that. It's why I know some people don't like that, the whole dynasty aspect of the NBA. I love that because I love seeing someone who there's no reason for these dudes to be chasing shit. They won 3 NBA championships already. They're bajillionaires. They're first ballot Hall of Famers. I think the biggest slight on Klay was that they had him 77th best basketball player in the history of the sport or something.
Still, bro. I don't know, bro.
But it's like they're not chasing anything, right? But there's something in them that is like genuinely outraged, genuinely indignant at people disrespecting them. Like Steph was making fun of people saying when he signed his extension, he wasn't going to win another championship. Like, I love that part of sports. To me, that's like one of the purest remaining parts of sports. It's like, fuck the podcast, fuck the money, fuck first take, fuck take culture. These people said I couldn't do it, and I fucking did it. Fuck them.
Just loving to tell somebody to shut the fuck up by just doing something they said you couldn't do. You wouldn't. I wouldn't do this. Let me show you, motherfucker. Like, that's a sickness, though. And if anybody has that sickness, of course it's Steph. Of course it's a motherfucker pointing at his ring, shimmying, sea-walking, turning his back, looking at fucking the 12th man on the bench. Like, yeah, bitch, you too. I got your ass, whole ass nigga. You don't want to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course Steph has that sickness. And good for him, bro. It's got him a long way. One of the best players I've ever seen.